In Chapter 4 of Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones, but all my units have 1 HP, we face the first monster chapter of the game and we get our first magic units with Arta, who has 1 HP, and Lute, who has 1 HP. Both of them have a lot of potential as units with 1-2 range, which is one of the best features a unit with 1 HP can possess, since they can reliably attack without facing counter unless the enemy also has 1-2 range. Most of the enemies in this chapter aren't very scary, so this should be a good opportunity to train some of my units, but I will have to be careful of these moguls because they will be able to fly in and delete any unit of their choice, since none of my units can take a hit from them, not even Seth. My first attempt is cut short by a classic Erica death from one of these moguls, which is what happens when your main strategy is dodge tanking. My second attempt goes a little better until I retreat backwards but accidentally leave Franz behind, forcing him to tank an entire enemy phase, which he almost does. He dodges the first 2 enemies but the third murders him, and while I haven't really been using Franz so far, I do plan on training him, and at the very least his Kanto rescue dropping is super helpful, so I reset the chapter to revive him. By this point I have worked out a bit of a strategy which mainly revolves around Gilliam. His defense of 9 is perfect to take hits from all the surrounding enemies without taking damage, and if he levels defense at the start of the chapter, then that lets him hit a very helpful benchmark. These Bone Walker reinforcements show up in the first few turns and their attack is 11, so I can put a 10 defense Gilliam on a forest with 1 bonus defense to tank these attacks as well. My play is very messy here, but I just about managed to rescue drop my way out of taking another death, and Gilliam tanks the enemies he needs to, getting more level ups, including a point of speed, which actually lets him start doubling. We visit the bottom village to recruit Lute, and we start putting her to work on the Revenants, whilst Gilliam cleans up the squad of reinforcements from the top left. Everything was going great until I got cocky and stopped checking inventory, so I didn't notice this guy with a fetid claw sneak up on Gilliam, and he gets slapped into the Shadow Realm, causing another reset. The fourth attempt consists of Gilliam getting a training montage and getting some good level ups, but no speed unfortunately. This chapter ends up being mostly a Gilliam solo, with Seth killing the annoying moguls because he's the only unit that can one-shot them and nobody on my team can take a hit from them. I get some XP to other units where I can, but the level ups were a bit lackluster in most cases. Gilliam uses some crits for style points against the reinforcement squad that killed him in the last attempt, but this time around I handle the Fetid Claw Revenant more carefully and kill him without losing a unit, and then slowly deal with the final scrubs on the map. I also activated the C support for Gilliam and Franz, since their support gives both of them bonus defense, which could be very useful later on if I train Franz and use them together. The boss of the chapter has a nasty attack of 15, which is more than any of my units can take even with terrain bonuses, but it doesn't matter since you can just attack him at range. I actually decided to give the boss kill to Seth, since Entombed are hard-coded to give a ton of experience, and Seth best utilises that since he is still my strongest unit and he struggles to get XP in normal combat, and the level he gets from it is monstrous, getting strength, speed, luck, defense and resistance, which is godly. And that brings us to the end of chapter 4. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I'll see you in chapter 5.